Hey guys, this is Randy. We're finally back with another video, guys. I've been sick for over a month. But anyway, let's get on past that. We're going to do a real short video today. It ain't going to be a long one, but I got some good ones coming up behind it. This is just to show you the difference in the floats. We got brass float here. We got Nitrophil float here. And we got a plastic, I think it's made with part DEFCON plastic or something like that. But they all got their place in the Holley carburetor. I mean, this old brass float's been used forever. We've used it for many years and got away with it. And it's a good old float. But when you get into a backfiring problem, don't think nothing's going to save this brass float. Because if you got a ill-tuned motor and you're backfiring and it's spit back through the carburetor, it will take this float and make it look like this. And then what happens when it pushes that float backwards, bends this upward, you can kind of see how that is. It shortens the distance back here and it starts binding the float in the back side, which won't let the float work properly, which will cause flooding problems. Now, the plastic float holds up pretty darn good. I can't really say it, but of all three, I think the Nitrophil float is it's a solid type of like a foam material inside, and it's pretty strong. It's got some other properties to it to make it strong, and it holds up real well. Now, any of them can be damaged. I mean, if you get into a violent backfiring problem, ill running engine, it'll bend the actual metal float bowl that it's hung on, the little tang, the metal tang, and it'll bend it. But generally speaking, it'll just cave in one of these old brass floats. They just can't take it. They're not built real super strong to start with. But they're a good old float. They really are. Most all these, you know, if you got a working fuel pressure around 6 pounds, you're not going to usually have any trouble with it if it's in good shape and it's not leaking or binding. Now, these old float bowls, you still have to watch. This one right here, I can't show this to you guys. There's no way of picking it up. But if you put a needle valve in here in this float bowl, this thing is cut wrong. It's just never was cut right. The bevel inside there that lets the O-ring go past it right there, it is right below it. It has got a mark that's dug in there, and when you try to put a needle in there, it just cuts the rubber, gets past where it's messed up there in the float, and it floods. It's unmetered fuel. You cannot stop it unless this O-ring right here seals. If it don't seal, there's no stopping the fuel. So anyway, that's your main thing. These are all center hung floats, and you can change. You can change a side hung float to a center hung float if you know what you're doing. I'm gonna have a video on that showing you what not to do, because there is a couple things if you do, you'll be in trouble in the secondary side especially. This was just a short video, guys. Always make sure you're flat up here. I always touch them up, make sure they're flat, and make sure you got, everything's flat here. I'm a little bit of a pain in the butt, whatever. I do things careful. I'm real particular about what I do. I'll put these, when I clean them, I'll put them on a piece of granite with a little piece of sandpaper and crocus cloth, and I'll get it so flat that I want everything to seal up properly without having to over tighten it. It's just like them old plastic washers that people use here. A lot of times they're fine as long as this area is perfect in here. But if it gets bad, let's just say it starts looking like that, or you might even have one worse here. But anyway, they'll start not sealing, and then people crank down on them and crank down on them, and they'll pull the threads right out of the main body right here. They'll pull these threads right out. Seen it 1,000 times. I've had to put so many helicoils in here, it ain't even funny. The old paper gasket sealed every time just about. I never had a problem with it, but now it's not reusable a lot of times. Sometimes you can get away using it a couple of times, but after it's a couple months old running on a car, it'll tear to pieces. So everything's got a place, but I still like the paper gaskets here if I can, because they're a much better seal. If this is in super good shape, the plastic will work fine. But it's just different things. As they get older, you can think of what you want to use and what you don't want to use in that type of situation. But that's my own personal belief. All right, guys, this is it. This is Randy, and we're back, guys, and we're going to start making some videos. I'm already getting a bunch of them that together, and we're going to start doing. Hopefully, I hope to do several a week, maybe even more than that. Just as we get feeling better, I'm about there now. I'm feeling a lot better. So sorry it took so long to get another video out, guys. We'll see y'all later, and God bless all of y'all. Goodbye.